Good morning. We are talking about identifying like terms and writing an algebraic expression in simplest form. So by the end of the lesson today, you guys should be able to identify like terms. And remember, I talk about that a lot in terms of fruit. You can only combine the same fruit, okay? And then in simplest form means you need to make sure that there's no more of the order of operations that can be done. So you got to go through all of the order of operations. Okay? So we've already talked about a lot of this. An algebraic expression, which we've been also calling a variable expression. Okay? Talked about this, is made up of numbers, variables, and the product of numbers and variables combined with adding and subtracting. Remember, expressions cannot have an equal sign. Okay, so this is an example of an algebraic expression. Okay, 6x minus 3y plus 9z minus p plus 4. It's made up of numbers, of operations like adding and subtracting, and multiplying. Okay? So if you notice in this one, it has a term here. We're always going to do keep, change, opposite, like we have been doing. There's another term. There's a term. I'm going to put a 1 in front of that p and keep, change, opposite. Here's another term, and there's another one. So this one actually is consisting of 5 terms, okay? Look at the next one. It's 2xy. That is one term, okay? Because any term is separated with addition or subtraction. Okay, and here's another one. And it is 1 plus negative 6y. How many terms does that one have? That one has 2. Okay, 1, 2. Okay, so a coefficient is the number part of a term right here. The number part of the term. And it has to have a variable with it. So the coefficient on 6x is the 6. Okay, the coefficient on negative 3y is the negative 3. Okay, the coefficient on 9z is the 9. The coefficient on the negative 1p is the negative 1. And 4 does not have a coefficient because remember, we've talked about this, it's called a constant. Okay, a constant. No variable with it. It will never change. It stays the same. So again, like terms have the same variables raised to the same power. So let's look at a few of these. We have negative 2mn squared and mn squared. Are those going to be like terms? Well, look. This one has m squared. This one only has m. Those are not like terms. They cannot be like terms because they don't have the same power or exponent with them. And neither did the n. That would have been n, and that would have been n squared. Okay, so that's like having a mango and a, what do you think? I say star fruit. Next one is 3y and negative 8y. Notice they both have a y with them, and they're both to the same power. You can't see it, it's a 1. So these are like terms. What about these? 2xy and negative 11xy squared. No, they are not, because look at the y's. That's a y, and that's a y squared. These are not like terms. 4m and, I'm going to put a 1 in front of there because I can't see it, but it's there. 4m and m. They have the same variable and have the same power. You can't see it, it's 1. So yes, these are. Okay, simplest form means that there are no like terms that you can combine anymore, and you can't do anything according to the order of operations. Okay? So, it says identify like terms. I'm going to always keep change opposite first. Keep change opposite first when needed. Okay? It says identify the like terms. So I keep change opposite. 10 is a constant. And do you see any other constants in there? No. So y and negative 3y are like terms, or 3/2 y are like terms. Number 2, keep change opposite again, plus, there's a 1 in front, so I'm going to make that -1 plus -9. Okay, here's a 2r squared. That's a like term with this one. So 2r squared and -1r squared are like terms. 7r is not a like term because it doesn't have a square, and -9 is a constant, so it doesn't have a like term. 3. Okay, here's an m. I gotta keep change opposite first. Here's an m. There's a 1m, and there's a 2m. Those are all like terms. So we go 4m and 1m and and 2m. Those are like terms. But look, you have 2 constants in there. This one and this one. Those are also like terms because we can combine 7 and -5. Okay? Now it says simplify by using the order of operations. Okay, what we need to do is keep change opposite first. And notice there are no parentheses. There are no exponents we're going to figure out. There's no distributive property. So I'm going to look for anything I can combine by adding and subtracting. Well, I'm going to put a 1 in front of that m. And I look at this as a -3m, and that's a 1m. I can combine those. So -3m plus 1m, I know what that is. That is -2m. Okay, so I mark those out. I've used them. They're gone. These two are also like terms because they're constants. So 14 plus 8 is 22. Would it matter if I wrote 22 plus -2m? Sure wouldn't. Same thing. That's our commutative property. Look at the next one. Keep change opposite and add 1s in front of regular variables. Okay? And there are no parentheses, so I can't do the distributive property. Look for like terms. There's a 13x and a 1x. I can combine those and I get 14x. Okay, so I'm going to mark those out. There's a 3n and a -11n. 3 plus -11 is -8. And then I put the n on there. Those are gone. Those are the same fruit. And then here are my constants. -4 plus 7. I combine those and I get 3. And it won't matter what order you put these in, as long as you're using the commutative property. Okay? Number 6, I'm going to keep change opposite. And it's okay, it's a fraction. Now notice this only has 2 terms. There's no parentheses. And they both have m's. So these are like terms. So what I need to do is have a common denominator between 4 and 8, and that would be 8. So I'm going to keep this one 3/8 m. Plus I'm going to change this to -something8 m. Times that by 2, times that by 2, and I get -6. Okay, now what am I really doing? I'm really subtracting them. 6/8 minus 3/8 is 3/8 m. And it's got to keep this one sign, so it's negative. If you notice on number 7, it has parentheses, but we cannot combine what's in the parentheses. They're not like terms. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do my distributive property first. And I'm going to distribute -1/2 times 6. Remember, this is over 1, this is over 1. Negative times a positive is negative. Okay, 1 times 6 is 6. Over 2 times 1 is 2, so that's -3n plus Sorry guys, my dog's chewing on my arm. Negative times a positive is negative. 1 times 4 is 4, over 2 is negative 2. Plus 2, and drop this one down. You have got to get down. I love you too, but you've got to get down. Negative 15. Okay, now I look at that. Are there any like terms I can add? There sure are. 6m and negative 5m is 1m plus negative 15. Now, Mrs. Bowen, isn't that the same as m plus negative 15? It sure is. Okay, so this is what you guys are going to do. I have the workbook page on this video, but we'll go ahead and review that tomorrow. And then in the slot, I want you to redo the distributive property worksheet for each of your classes. So, all right.